Yeah.
Another edition of Stuck in the Middle podcast with Sir Hanson, AK.
Mm-hmm. In the building today. Well, by the way, man, how's everybody's weekend?
Man,
it was great. Sis got engaged.
Man. Dude got down on his knees and
two knees, man. By the way, 2 knees. Both
poured out his heart. It was a success, though, man. Like I remember we were planning it, and everybody was just nervous, like, how's this gonna work out? But the plans came to fruition, and she was emotional. She felt it. It was good.
Did anybody learn something from that?
Nah, man. I feel like everybody should do it different. I'm not going that kind of stuff to learn.
What?
Like going, like, he's asked if anybody learned something different. It's like,
oh. So how do you think you gonna approach it?
I'm not thinking about that right now.
Okay.
I'm not thinking about that right now. But nah, man, we got Tmah in the building. Mm-hmm. Long time coming.
The infamous.
Yes, sir. Good to be. You all don't mind. I got my ching ching right here. You all don't mind if I munch away from the mic.
I was saying, I'm like, man, I wish I got some chin chin too,
dip
man.
my hands in there.
I might get some fufu jama a little bit, So hopefully y'all don't mind if I make myself at home real quick.
Oh man, this is a home, man.
Okay, I'll make sure I munch away from the mic though.
No, you good. You good. How was your flight in, man, from Atlanta?
Oh man, the flight was good.
This man flies with.
The flight was good.
Just $3. No,
he's always on the road.
You got to travel light, man.
And I was like, when you leave it, he was like, tomorrow. I'm like, man, you just going come in town and leave tomorrow. Like,
I mean, you was a road manager at Con, right? Konvict.
Yeah, A&R.
A&R. Okay.
What is an A&R like?
Artist and repertoire. For those that don't know, that's the person who stands in the middle of everyone. So when it comes to the records that you listen to, there's an A&R involved of connecting all the pieces together. Either he's finding the artist for the label, or if the artist is already there, he's finding musicians, songwriters, producers, finding studios time, pretty much trying to put together that body of work, creating the vision or following the vision if the vision has already been created. So it's a very important piece when it comes to putting a project together.
Like, what kind of artist was like, Konvict like looking for? Because it seemed like they put out like a lot of singers. Y'all weren't looking for no rappers, or like?
No, you know what? They were definitely putting out a lot of singers, but we also had a lot of rappers. Mm-hmm. It just so happens that Akon was a singer, so most of the time, what people looked for was, another singer to come from Kon. But Kon had a rapper, rest in peace, named Dollar, who was nice. He was about to come out.
Yeah, I remember that.
There were quite a few rappers under Kon. Saha
the Prince, yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
Saha
got a new record, New Africa.
Ooh, exactly. Yeah.
Saha is dope, man.
Yeah, so Saha started over at Konvict before moving over to
Good Music.
Good Music.
What about the guy who sang I think he's Versus Simmons?
Versus Simmons started at Konvict as well. It's a lot of people that came through.
My favorite from Konvict is the two guys.
Rock City.
Rock City started at Konvict
talented
too.
Cats, man.
Yeah. Now Rock City, they're just, I call them freaks of nature. Like if you see them work in the studio, it's one of the most incredible things ever. So as an A&R, I have to deliver.
Yeah.
Okay. My job is to deliver by any means necessary. Because if I don't deliver, I'm gonna have Kon coming down my throat or Boo coming down my throat. You know what I'm saying? Pause, no pun intended, but I know how y'all youngers are. Oh man, coming down the thumb, man.
Definitely pause.
Pause. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you book an 8-hour session in a studio that costs like $150 an hour, and you get Rock City. You're also paying them, and they have to come and deliver records for you. So you have this 8-hour block or 1-day block, and you're sitting there. They come in, first off, these are artists, so the vibe has to be created. The energy has to, it just gotta, and it's
They
true.
got-
It really has to, they gotta catch. So they'll sit there. First hour goes by, they chilling,
Just
talking.
and you like scenario, you like, man, like
I'm like, that's $150 that just went down
Right.
the drain. Second hour goes by, you're like, and you can't say nothing because you say the wrong thing, it's gonna completely mess up the energy.
Yeah.
mm.
Third, fourth, fifth hour goes by. I'm like, yo, homie, like, come on, my God. What am I gonna tell Con and Boo? Like, we just threw all this money down the drain, So at the 7th hour, literally the 7th hour,
Wow.
the guy says, put on the beats. Goes in the booth. In that 1 hour, nails like 4 records. And comes at the booth. Just off the top. Just off the top. In 1 hour.
Man.
And then he come out, he's like, you like him? These joints are smashers. What you mean? Like, and the records are like dope. Like, you really want to complain, like, like, come on, man, you rushed it. Like, this don't sound right. It was rushed. You can't even say that because the records sound dope. So that was one of my I have so many great experiences in the music business, but they are freaks of nature. That's one I love being in the studio with them, see them, and great guys too. Great guys, solid guys, extremely solid, and they have no regrets to anything about where they're from. It's straight up VI till I die.
Virgin Islands, yep.
They're in parties in Atlanta and they're playing crunk music, and you will hear them and they can talk like you and me, but you hear them talking in the way they talk. That's like me and you go to the club and all of a sudden it's just Masa, I'm from Cameroon. Like, what's going on? You know where you at? Like, they don't care, unapologetic. And I love it.
And that's how it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
What was your greatest, like, moment, artist or moment, like, in the music biz that you like, yo, I'm proud of that?
I have so many moments that's happened to me. I think one of my greatest moments when I was in a session with Jay-Z. That's like, that was like,
I
know Hans right now.
Listen. I've never been starstruck, but I don't know. Jay-Z is a human being just like you and I, but Jay-Z, what kind of vibe do you get? Like,
listen, man, everything that you hear about him in the studio is all true. All the getting there and just
bump his head to the
7 minutes, bump his head, and it is all true. I sat there and I was like,
what record were you in the studio that he did?
It was it was a record that came on excuse my French, I understand your niggas in Paris.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you were making
You was in there.
Yeah, so
Jesus.
and the way it happened was I was accompanying Saha to London, right? And I cut long story short because it was the funniest thing ever. I was accompanying Saha to London, and then when we got to London, we ended up like an hour and a half outside London in the middle of like nowhere, but in the middle of nowhere, like on this barn. On a barn, like it was crazy on a barn.
That gotta be out somewhere.
It was out there, but in the middle of nowhere, you saw like this huge hotel looking, but not like your regular hotel. It looked like a
castle.
Exactly, like a hotel from the 17th century or something,
like Downton Abbey type of
hotels. And then you're driving, you see number of cows and barns and stuff, and then you pull up to this place, but then you walk in, it's like, oh snap, This is Peter Gabriel's studio. This is crazy. And then you walk in there, you see no ID. Ooh, like everyone was in there.
Mm.
And I'm sitting there like, this is
I remember
crazy.
seeing I think they did like a little documentary,
Yes.
and I remember seeing that.
Yep.
Cast.
Like it was crazy. So I think that was one of the moments that I was starstruck in the business. You know,
Really?
you know, and I don't get that way often. You know, I was sitting there, and you know, he get done with his verse, and then he like, "What you think?" I'm like,
He asked you.
You're like,
You ask him, man. It's fire, Jet.
but then I realized he wasn't asking me. Kind of awkward. And then I looked to my side, and there's this lady answering back.
B.
I'd say, yo! Like in my head, I'm just jumping.
Mhm.
Like, this is my Beyonce. But in my head, I was like, this is crazy.
you have
So
to
that
keep
was
your
like-
composure.
Like
You gotta keep your
Your
composure.
out
Yeah,
of
you
body
can't-
experience was composed, but inside you
My
was
outer
jumping.
body was quite composed, but the inner was jumping
You're
because
a
she's
straight
standing
fanboy.
she's standing right there next to me.
I want to ask you though, like, how'd you come, like, you know, to be A&R for Con? Like, I was the, you just didn't fall into that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
High school, I met Khan when I was in high school.
yeah, when it's in high school.
No, I met him when I was in high
Mhm.
school, and he used to come up to the school. Well, first thing when I first saw Khan,
Mhm.
it was at this, like, you know, they had, I don't know if y'all have it here in the DMV. It was this thing called Black Expos, like this, and for sisters only. So I had just moved here from Belgium, from Brussels, right?
Mhm.
And then I was at this place called For Sisters Only, where they had like all these booths and different performers from all these, you know, celebrities and all.
Okay.
And I saw this. You got the velvet ropes, and I'm outside the velvet ropes. And I've always loved music and wanted to be in the music. And I was watching who was going in and out, trying to figure out how can I get to know them. I'm like strategizing. All of a sudden, I seen this really black dude, you know, and then he just, as soon as he comes, they just like
Open it.
open it. He just walk right in,
Shoot.
It's like
and then walks out like
It
at
was
will.
nothing.
And I'm sitting there like, I know that's an African. Like, that's an African.
Mhm.
I know an African when I see one. It look like an African.
It
Like,
gotta be in there.
it gotta be an African. Like, there's no way you have that look and you're not African. Okay. So at that time, it wasn't too many young Africans really in the music business. So that's when I met Khan. Fast forward, what we know as Konvict Music started as United Nations. A whole bunch of young fellas from a whole bunch of different countries that were into the arts. It then switched to Baifal. Okay, which Baifal is the tribe that Akon is from, the Fundum, as we would know it, that Khan is from in Senegal. So the crew switched to Baifal. And then it switched to Naka International, which was Akon backwards. Okay. And then the production team was Mo Khan, which was Mo and Khan. They were two brothers. And then Khan got locked up, got out, and then it switched to
Konvict Music.
that's
That's the half of the story that I know because he exposed it in his music.
Yeah.
So, that time when you met him, like, was that the time he was working with Wyclef?
Well, when I met him, yes, that's when he was working with Wyclef. He was on the Fugees album.
Mm-hmm.
He was working with Wyclef. But fast forward to answer your question. So when Konvict was formed, we were like this. And then we had an agreement because there's a lot of us, right? Mm-hmm. And you know how, sometimes our people are a lot of cooks in the kitchen, a lot of bosses in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So
exactly
everybody is a boss,
so
nobody is the
boss.
worker.
So so we said, you know what? Everybody spread, do your thing. Whoever blows up first, come back and get everybody. So fast forward, I had an artist by the name of Jarvis that we did a deal with, Jermaine Dupree. Um, founded me and my partner, a writer by the name of Sean Garrett, who went on to write some great records. And then Khan went on to drop Locked Up.
That's a
With
classic
Styles
album.
P.
Yeah.
So when he dropped Locked Up, of course, you're thinking, oh, he ain't coming back. He ain't about to do that. So 1 year went by. Yeah, right about a year after Locked Up had dropped, and they were working the pavement with that record. And then like 3:00 in the morning, I get a call, and he was in Amsterdam. Yo, so I got scared. I thought something had happened. I'm like, what's up? He said, yo, I'm coming back. I need to talk to you. We need to get together. So he came back, and we met. He said, yo, like your ears, like you got one of the best ears in the eye for talent, and I want you to be the A&R for Konvict. Being the African that I am, the only titles I know are president, vice president,
Minister.
and minister. What is an A&R? So I was like, I don't want to be no A&R. What the heck is an A&R?
Yeah.
So he said, just go look it up and, give me an answer. I really feel like
You could do
that's
it.
you. Like you could really body that. So I went and did my research. And then all of a sudden I started seeing under A&R, Andre Harrell, L.A. Reid. And then the last name that stuck out was P. Diddy. I said, oh! You know that A&R position you were talking about?
Sign me up.
Count me in. And that's how we progressed from there.
I gotta say though, man, I'm grateful for that because I got to. We were just talking right before we went live. And by the way, you getting so much love on Facebook right now.
I'm getting love on Facebook.
Oh, yeah?
As soon as they hit the questions, I'm
Definitely.
yeah, like one of the best times in my life. We were just talking about before we got on the pod is me coming down to ATL. Just you know what I'm saying, as fam, just coming to spend some summertime, and you actually brought me in Akon's office downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
In the studio. Got to meet Boo, dusted up his carpet,
He say Boo always
with white carpet.
It was a nice white carpet.
How was Boo like, yo, man, what you think you doing?
Yo, it was exactly like that, yo. And I wasn't even thinking, man. I'm like, yo, I'm in the studio with all these cats that, I only see on TV. I wasn't thinking about my shoes or like the carpet.
Yo, the fascination of white transcend from Akon to Boo. Like what is the thing with white with them? Like
the funny thing is these are some real dark skinned brothers, so
Yeah,
having
definitely
dark
have
skinned
to.
furniture wouldn't really complement the situation. So so you got to go with the opposite to complement it.
Oh
Man,
yeah,
I wanna like jump like fast forward. You're not A&R for you still work with
I work
Konvict,
with them, but not for them.
not for
Yeah,
it.
not
So
for them,
like
yeah.
and now you like heavy with Jump Africa,
Yeah.
Books for Africa. Like what is that?
Jump Africa came as a result of Konvict. You're really getting the exclusive. Like, you're pretty much getting my book
man,
right
yeah,
now.
bless it,
definitely.
bless it.
Stuck in the middle
Bless
podcast.
Y'all getting my book right now. I can't give y'all the whole book.
Yeah, they do.
Man,
Stuck in the middle podcast. Just got to plug Stuck in the Middle podcast. Anyway,
when I was young, I always knew that I would get into the philanthropic area of life, because of my mom and my dad. Like they were givers. They're givers. So that automatically, I felt like was instilled in me. It was built in me. It's my blood. But I was like, I'm gonna do that when I turn like 55 years old or something. When I made all this money. And then I was like, okay, I made money, time to give back, whatever the case might be. But it's something amazing that God's plan and your plan, He will straight put your plan to sleep. And that's literally what He did to my plan. Okay. So you put my plan to sleep, but gave birth to a whole nother plan. Okay.
Bigger
So
plan,
Jump was what came as a result of that, which is Join Us Making Progress,
okay.
which focuses on education, health, these civil liberties that we take for granted that most people don't have access to. Especially, being from Cameroon and leaving when I was 8 years old and going back, I thought things had changed, And then when I went back years back, not too long, about 7, 8 years ago, and I got to the airport and that heat hit me, I'm thinking to myself, who did this? Who did this? Like, somebody show me who's responsible for this, because this don't make no sense.
Right.
It's crazy.
You outside and you kind of forget what's going on back home. That things aren't as lovely, but things are also as lovely. There's change in certain areas, but there's also things that have remained stagnant. The basic things.
Wait, were you born in Cameroon?
I was born in Cameroon.
And you left Cameroon
when I was 8.
When you were 8.
Where'd you go?
I mean, pretty much at that time, you really didn't have a full scope of what, is really going on back home.
I didn't have a full scope. I had a full scope, but not all the way. Like, it's different to know than to see it and feel it. Like, the scope that I had was seeing my mom and dad send money back home to their siblings to put them through school. You see what I'm saying? Like, we were in the diplomatic corps and it was lovely, but it wasn't that lovely.
Right.
Because there was all that money was being sent back to take care of the family, take care of siblings, give this person this money, make sure this person is in private school, make sure that their education is taken care of, please, I beg, all these conversations. So you're hearing it, but you're not feeling it. And it's different when you really feel it. So when I finally went back home, I felt it.
When was the first time you went back?
What was that, about 7, 8 years ago? Yeah.
Man, it's
after almost 20 years.
Shout out to you, man. Like,
mind you, didn't go to school back home.
Oh yeah.
You didn't. You weren't raised back home.
I wasn't raised back home.
And to tie all of that, you have Jump Africa that focuses on the continent of Africa. Not necessarily just Cameroon, but the entire continent. And it's definitely like for the longest, right? We've been sitting here debating, like, man, when is Tmah gonna come in the pod, man? Like man, hit Tmah up.
Like I said, man, it's a long time coming. Like, you know what I'm saying? People have been on the pod. Shout out to them. They probably listening right now who've like said it on the record.
Oh yeah,
that you are a distant mentor to them. They look up to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, yo, like Tmah is. Like
it's funny, right?
He's doing what a lot of people they look up to, want to emulate.
Yeah,
do better. I'm sure you don't mind that.
Listen, that's the goal.
Yeah,
one of the main goals of Jump is to inspire. I'm a true believer that the more you give, the more you receive. From working with Konvict, I've met some incredible people. I mean, like
I'm sure.
I've met some people. Individuals, from celebrities to just
and to be still be humble.
Here's the thing: you can imagine the level of people I met doing Konvict, right? The people I met doing Jump, who've contacted me or who I've been introduced to you, the people I met through Konvict, there's nothing compared. Like, sometimes I sit like, this is crazy. Wow. Nothing compared. The people I met from Jump, like, it's a true testament that the more you give, the more you. Sometimes I'm in meetings and I'm sitting like, yo, this is the CEO. This is the CEO. You got one CEO on your left and one on your right, and you're at the dinner table, and you like 4 out of like, 4 black people out of like 150 people at an event, and all of them are like CEOs. You're like, change!
But you can't do that. And that's in your mind.
That's in my mind. But I'm over there swagged up like, yeah, Bobby. Nice to meet you.
Man, how does Jump get its, like, because it's majorly volunteer as far as like you guys putting together the books and shipping and stuff like that, and people donating books.
Yes.
And so it's like, is there any funding from like?
Man, you know who are my biggest supporters of Jump? It's people like y'all. That's the crazy thing. I'm just now getting to where I'm starting to create enough credibility in the work that some bigger heads are coming to the table. But before that, I've done almost $1 million worth keyword of books and supplies based off the $5 donation, the $10 donation, the $1 donation, and all of a sudden $1,000 hit. And it might hit from somebody in Iraq, like true stories.
Word.
And you like, who? And you
who the hell in Iraq got $1,000 to be throwing that book like that?
That's one of them.
Just folded like
So that's where the funding comes from. It comes from the people. It comes from people who say, you know what, I'm not able to do what you're doing, but you're an organization that I see the transparency, so I'm going to live vicariously through you, and the work that I do is going to be through you. So I can't give my time, but here's my fund to.
Because one thing I feel that you're doing that most other non-profit organizations are not doing is you're actually putting it to light.
Yeah.
So like you get people to be interactive with you. You with the kids, you guys are doing either some dance moves or you out there.
I really love like the fun that you guys have. Like,
and that's cool as they just hit me last week and invited me. That's Ron Clark. I don't know if y'all familiar with Ron Clark Academy. That's the one that was on Oprah. And those kids, when I say like, where y'all find these kids? Just different, but continue though. But yeah, I had fun on that too.
Yeah, and then like going back home too, and actually taking pictures of the kids, giving them. I mean, like when I see videos like that, right? It just goes like it talks to my soul because it takes me back, to when I was back home too, and I seen people, who couldn't, people who didn't have stuff that I had, and just to give somebody something and just see that joy, it's like a different kind of experience.
I'm gonna ask you this: what are the kids' reaction? Because you physically there when they get that book.
Man, I don't know if I can describe the feeling and the reaction. Like people take it for granted. Like some of the stuff I post, like sometimes I think to myself, is this making the kind of impact that I needed to make? But I think, Lord, you wouldn't have brought me here if this is not what I was supposed to be doing, because this is clearly not my comfort zone. You see what I'm saying? So that's when I know I'm doing God's work, because this is not, I'm like, this is, and then he gives you little signs. Okay. I remember one time we gave supplies and books out. I gave it to the kids, and I left. And then on my way coming back, I saw a group of them sitting, flipping the pages and reading. Kids. Okay. Another instance was this last time when I went home and we were at a school, and I took two of my friends from here because they always saw what I did online, and they wanted to go to Africa. So I took them to Africa for the first time.
That's dope, man. That's really dope.
Oh, we had fun. They want to go back and buy property and everything.
They married,
So we were in the car and we're about to drive off, and we see this little girl. When I say promise to God, crying.
Hopefully y'all not to leave.
We stopped. We thought somebody had died or something, right? We asked her, what's wrong? So I'm in the car and my friends are in the passenger seat in the back. She said, just
shivering.
We're like, okay, calm down. What's wrong? She said, I lost my pen. You what? You lost your pen? That's what's wrong? I promise you, no exaggerations. She's, yes, I lost my pen. So I was like, man, you crying this hard over a pen. Let me ask y'all a question. When was the last time you used the pen until the ink ran out?
Oh, nah.
Right.
I don't even know if anybody does that.
That was probably when I left home, man. That was probably when I left home.
I'm just thinking that my work desk got pens like
everywhere.
Exactly. When was the last time you used the pencil all the way down to the eraser? Same pencil. You kept sharpening that thing all the way down. So she was boo-hooing, right? So I got a pen. I had because I had a whole bunch of supplies. So I looked at my friend who went with me, Yanenga. Yo, you got some pens? You got some of them pens on you? She's like, yeah, please. So I took it, and in those pens, you know how you got the regular pen, and then you got like a few of them real nice ones.
Yeah.
You know, so I gave her some of the pens, and I was about to give her the real nice pen, and then I'm like, man, if she crying over that little pen, I don't even want to know what happened if she lose these pens, right? I can't put this pen down. I like I don't know what she gonna do. She lose this nice little ballpoint click all that nice and heavier. So that was like to show you how important the feeling that I get when I do this work.
And just
the impact,
and just listening from you right now, it's like it's not just the work. There's a psychological aspect of it too.
There's
you gotta keep, you just gotta keep at it. Like you have to be on 100 at every given turn.
You have to be at 100, but sometimes, to be honest with you, figuring out what 100 is, that's the thing. Like people ask me, like, how? I don't know.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, it puzzles me. I'm wondering, like, did you sit and map it out and say, oh, because you providing books to kids in those rural areas. That's like they way to see the outside world. You know what I mean? That's the way to know that this is possible. This is really happening out there and stuff like that. I don't know if you sat, because they say plant. That you're planting a seed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Definitely. The books is the water that needs that seed to grow.
Yeah.
So from the beginning, I don't know. Was that something that you thought about, or was it just like
none of the stuff I'm doing was stuff that I thought about? I just, as I started, I just knew I wanted to help. I went to Cameroon. I came back and I met with a friend of mine, Derek Kayongo, who's almost like he's like a real close friend, but also the CEO for the Center for Civil and Human Rights. And he's the one who introduced me to Books for Africa. So long story short, I'll give y'all that. I know it's gonna have to be a part 2 to this interview because it's so much information, and I'm trying to crunch it in small amount. Long story short, everything was not planned, but everything was what I wanted to do. So I didn't know how to do. I have this saying that I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure it out, and everything has been figuring it out on a daily basis. You knock your head. You keep moving. God gives you a sign. Stay on this course. That's how it's been happening. And all of a sudden you turn around years later. I set some goals. I definitely set goals for myself that I wanted to achieve. And it's funny that I had to do a proposal the other day. And I didn't realize that I had met all the goals that I had set. Because I got into I was in go mode that I looked at it. I was like, oh snap! I'm busy here trying to meet these goals. But I met these goals like 8 months ago. You know what I'm saying? And bypass stuff just happens. Like one of my goals was I wanted to do 2 containers of medical supplies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just so happens that those people contacted me and wanted to work on it together, and La Cantini got the supplies. You know what I'm saying? So doors just open. And I say to people, doing this work is doing God's work. And when you're doing God's work, God always makes a way.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, right? Like, how did you get that connect with Samuel Eto'o?
First, you gotta explain the whole situation.
I ain't even know that.
The whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. You know, you have.
Man, this like you said, this is gonna be a part 2 because your life, man. We're gonna get that book.
Yeah, you have Jump Ghana, you have Jump with Boo, you have Jump with, it's Jump with.
Shout out the website, by the way. Like,
yeah. So, like, how?
What's the website, by the way, so people, listening?
It's www.jumpafrica.org.
Yeah, if you're listening, check it out. www.jumpafrica.org.
Jumpafrica.org. So repeat your question one more time.
It's how he started with
Samuel Eto'o.
Jump with Samuel Eto'o, Jump with.
So pretty much, his management team. I know his management team, but the way I know his management team was one of my homegirls from like 10 years ago decided to move back to Cameroon. So for a long time, I had been saying, you know what? I think it'd be real dope if Jump did something with Samuel Eto'o. How it was going to happen, I really didn't know how. But I knew it was going to happen. That's one of the goals. Okay? Come to find out, her and the group she works for, which is her brothers, manage Samuel.
Wow.
So
Samuel is being managed by Africans.
Samuel is a Pan-Africanist to the core.
That's what's up.
His group, his management team is all
Cameroonians. Yes.
His management team is all Cameroonians.
Yeah. That's lovely, though, because I was thinking, I had like some Europeans in that.
Oh, man. And, so that's really how that happened. And then, I kind of let go off of it. The next thing you know, they hit me up like, yo, we coming to Atlanta. We want to meet with you. It's like, yeah, like you remember what you told us about, like, we can work with you on the medical stuff. I think it's, it's only right that Cameroonians, help each other on this project. Since Samuel is Cameroon, you're Cameroonian. Let's create the synergy. And Utopia Group, the management team is Cameroonians. Let's create the synergy. So I said, bet. So we met, locked in, and say, we want to do 2 containers of medical supplies. It just so happened that the situation that happened at La Cantini, Samuel was already building the facility at La Cantini. Okay? So he had just gotten to the point where he was almost finished building it. Now it was time to supply it. And then around that time as well is when the unfortunate situation happened with the mom and the twins, deceased in front of the hospital. So you see how God kind of like puts everything together, you know what I'm saying? And that's what really prompted, everyone to speed up on the situation and make it happen. Yeah.
Man, just every time I go, on Facebook or Instagram, you have, the Jump thing going.
Yeah.
I'll pause for a sec and always I have to, take myself back and say, how can I also, help, in this process and all whatnot? Because it's easy to donate, but if you're donating without a reason behind it, for me, I feel like that's no donation at all.
Exactly.
In my own humble opinion.
Yeah.
So, how can people, link, like let's say if I wanted to donate, right? How do I set up that process? Do I just call you? Do I go on your website?
Well, you could just go to the website and let me say, donations can come by way of monetary funds. That always helps a lot, but it also comes as time is money. It comes as time, knowledge. This is a process that I'm very transparent. It's fairly new to me, so people might be able to see where, I think I can help you in this capacity. Like, I had to go build the website myself. I had never built the website. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to man all these different things whereby now people are coming on board. You know, I got, you know, even in Cameroon, like people is like, yo, you know what? I want to do the PR. I want to help spread the word. One of the main things right now is spreading the word so we can have a longer reach and a longer pool of people. Jump Africa is Africa. So I go wherever help is needed. It's just now that Cameroon is starting to be aware of what I've been doing, and I'm starting to get a lot more love. But I've done Ghana, I'm about to do Kenya, I'm about to do Nigeria. Sometimes you got to go outside before home.
Yeah,
definitely.
kind
of, you know,
Catches up.
home catches up to you. But now Cameroon, home is where the heart is. You know, and they say charity begins at home. And I always like having a testing ground. So Cameroon is my testing ground. Population of 20 million plus. That's pretty small. Like when you really think about it, that's a small population. And this could apply to any African nation, with Nigeria being the most populated, being the exception. It shouldn't take that much for us to have the kind of impact that we need to have to impact the lives of 20 plus million Cameroonians, especially with the foreign companies doing business in the country. Okay? A closed mouth don't get fed. And I feel like our mouths have been closed
far too long.
With a
for
muzzle.
way too long. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to start, and sometimes we don't know better. For a while, I didn't know better. You know, so I didn't know what to ask for. I've been in situations where I've been put in front of people to ask. And because I didn't know better, I asked for crumbs. And the people looked at me, that's all you want? I said, oh man, I think I just shot myself in the foot. You know what I'm saying? But as young ones, we are the change that we want. Now, some people might be mad at me and say, the government is the problem. No, we're the problem. They don't have 100% responsibility of the problem. If I did what I needed to do, you do what you need to do. You do what we all need to do. We'll start seeing the change that we want. Am I making sense?
Nah, you making
That's
sense.
always been my approach to things. I didn't wait for the government to be able to go put books in 49 institutions in the Kumbo region, Bui division. That wasn't government. That was me and a few able Cameroonians who had love for Africa and their country and tried to figure out how can we help. Now imagine more people did that. Would we be looking to others for handouts? Now, government has a responsibility to the people, okay? But your mama can't take care of you but for so long, and there's only but so much that your mama and dad can do for you. Okay? So we have to be the change that we want, and that's what Jump is, not only for Cameroon, for Ghana, and all the other countries. We are the change that we want. Some of our elders have an approach of they don't ask. We're a humble people.
Yeah.
We're yes, Pa. We need to have some balance. Let's be humble. Yes, Pa, but you know that road over there needs to be fixed. Bring back our roads. Let's hashtag that.
Yeah.
Man, that's facts.
Real talk. Real
Facts,
talk.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
That?
It can't be one or two people saying, you know,
We got
our healthcare system is not where it needs to be. Some of these people don't. You don't know better, you won't do better. And a lot of these
Facts.
people don't know better.
Facts.
And you can't blame them because I thought I knew what Cameroonians need and what Africa needed until I started going back and realized I got it all screwed up.
And that's what the pocket is about,
Yeah.
man. Stuck in the middle.
Stuck
It's
in the
like
middle.
balancing those two words.
Balance.
Your life is like it's capping it, you know. Born
Yeah.
there, moved here, young age,
Yeah.
still reaching back. Because you know, so you could have been like, man, I'm straight.
Oh, no, I was definitely straight. You know, life was good, baby.
Yeah. You say you was in London.
I was traveling. You know, I've been to some of the best part. That's what people invite me. Yo, team, let's go. Listen, I've probably seen everything there is to see in every party. My priorities are shifting now. You young, go do you.
Mm-hmm.
Get that out your system.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure it's just for a season, and then get real about life.
Definitely. So, you know, with Jump, right? Let's just stick to Jump because you know there's many, you know, the question I'm about to ask you. There's many different, you know, obstacles that you probably faced, you know, and other things you did in life. But with Jump, what is like? I mean, like, what can you say? Was the greatest challenge you faced?
Whew. It's a lot of them.
So in terms of like being, you know, stuck in the middle, like how did you help me out here? How did you
I've had so many challenges. One challenge, shipping the goods and dealing with port authority.
Mm-hmm. Totally forgot about that.
Man. Need I say more?
No, you don't.
Okay. And I have to be honest to say not all port authority. So I can't generalize.
Mm-hmm.
But you run across on just that particular day, that one that's just going to give you trouble. I'm not here to sell these books.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're coming to help the people, but they make it even harder for you to help the people. And that's not only in Cameroon, that's in other countries. So that's been a challenge. Another challenge has been
somebody on Facebook concurs. It's like a port is not. Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
Listen, man, I had the pictures. The pictures are online or some of the stuff. Like I had to literally go into my container and empty out like almost half the container.
Yeah, I remember seeing that because I was like, whoa, they really taking out every single thing out.
Now let's put this in perspective. This is a container made of metal.
Mm-hmm.
It's
in
a couple
Douala
long, like
Douala heat. Woo! I lost at least like 15 pounds. No lie, like straight up, I lost 15. Every time I go to Cameroon to do a shipment, I lose at least 15 pounds coming back because you have to deal with so much.
Yeah.
You get that good tan. Huh?
But what? Who you telling? But the great thing at the same time is that I've had people who've started coming on board, like people even from the government who've reached out and said, you know what? We love the work that you're doing. Let us know how we can assist. And then I start to understand that some of them are there to do their jobs and some of them are there through corruption. But then you have on the flip side those that use philanthropy as a cover-up to bring things in.
Right.
So I always like to be transparent in the way, you know, in when I'm giving giving out this information to make people understand. Because I say, corruption, government. Hey, those people. It's not everybody. It's always a select few that mess up the whole
bunch.
The whole bunch. But that's my personal experience. So that's one of the challenges. The other challenge is getting people to catch the vision of Jump. In the beginning, people looked at me like I was crazy. Are you trying to do what? Books? Huh?
I bet it's like, why books?
Medical supplies? Huh? How you gonna get this medical supplies that's worth $500,000? That's worth $1 million. How you gonna do that? How you gonna get this to Cameroon? Who's gonna pay for that? Like, it was crazy. So getting people to like really jump on board and believe was also a challenge. Even to this day.
It is still a challenge?
Yeah. Oh, still a challenge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Being that mom says your mom, she's been in education for so long.
Yeah.
How did that inspire you to actually, get into Jump?
I really, that was the inspiration. That's the inspiration. I feel like mom has a thing with kids.
Oh, she does. Definitely.
Like right. She has a thing with kids. Kids gravitate to her. And I feel like, that's being passed down to me, to having a thing with the youth. Okay. It helps that I was involved in the music business. So, automatically gravitate to me because of who I've hung around with, been around, and also being around those people. I know that language. I know how to communicate with the younger folks, so her influence, she is pretty much the influence.
Definitely.
Especially when it comes to Cameroon.
Shout out to Mom C.
Yeah.
Plus today's Mother's Days, you know what I mean?
Oh man. So, shout out
Sweet
to
mother, I never forget you.
For this suffer, wait, don't suffer for me.
Yeah, this boy flexing his bit. Yo, man, like you said, this definitely gonna be a second. Second half. We run out of time, but real rapid fire, quick. Yeah, go ahead.
Rapid fire.
Definitely, we got to do a little Q&A for Tmah real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get in.
Oh, yeah.
I got some. Saying
go ahead.
So you stuck in the middle right now. We're firing at you. Cameroon music scene. What you thoughts, real quick?
It's dope right now. It's coming up at a rapid rate. No pun intended.
You say rapid?
At a rapid rate. Look at the last 3 years. What has happened to Cameroon music? The quality in the visuals, the quality in the music, what we're being able to export right now. Before those 3 years, which musicians did you really know was traveling and come? Like Magasco's been to the U.S., Stanley, Renice is in Paris. People are able to start making a, living for themselves. For a minute, if you recall, we were listening to music from like 20 years ago still. Right. But now we look forward to listening to something new from an artist like every other week or something.
They're really creative, you know what I mean? Yeah. Especially when it comes to the video. Like the past videos, it's like you get a couple of dancers and they in the garden just dancing.
Exactly.
Blah, blah, and that's it. But here, like, they have the visuals pretty nice. Reflex.
Go ahead. You got more?
Yeah, you go ahead. Pass the torch.
The greatest advice you've had so far.
The greatest advice I've had so far.
The best.
And
the one that just keeps you in your mind.
That you've held on to, like, or the worst.
Can I give y'all a few?
Yeah, definitely.
The journey of 1,000 steps begins with one. If you don't take the first step, you never get nowhere.
That's stuck in the middle right there.
Yep.
It starts with one. Consistency is key. Once you take that one, you got to take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, you're preaching that.
Consistency.
Preaching that
is the next one. And realizing that God is in control. If you combine all those 3 things, you will see a difference.
feels like you just gave us advice for Stuck in the Middle.
I'm taking it.
And I'm proud of y'all too by Stuck in the Middle, man.
What you think about the pot?
I love it. You know that what I have to say is, I really gotta say it took y'all long enough. It took y'all long enough to get this going, because I've been watching. I've been like really paying attention to y'all, to your individual movements, the movement together, and I've just been thinking, anytime now.
Yeah, we here.
Anytime now.
Now only up from here.
Okay.
We're gonna go
Shooting
down.
up. No.
like that Black Coffee. You know Black Coffee? The South Africa, yeah.
By the way, he's on Forbes 2017 richest artist list, number 1.
Yeah. Oh man.
I mean, no, number 2 after Akon.
Yeah.
On the list, they have Khan in that. Number 2.
So
wow.
I like. I'm so into the
I missed
South
that
African
boat. I've been packing books.
Yeah. He has the song. It don't get much deeper than the bottom.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it's only up, man.
It's only
up.
Only up.
So, question. Let's turn the tables. Rapid fire.
Oh, oh shoot.
Rapid fire. What made y'all come up with Stuck in the Middle?
What's the homegirl name? Shout out to
Heba.
Heba in Chicago.
Chicago. One of my friends, when I came to Hans, like, because Hans and I, we talk all the time.
Yeah.
So we would talk about stuff. Like, we would see something, and either we're saying something positive about it, or we critiquing it,
Yeah.
or we just talking just to talk. So at one point I said, man, we always say, oh, let's go listen to that podcast. Oh, dude, listen to this podcast. How about we create one ourselves? We have so much to talk about. And secondly, I feel like the thought was in my head for so long, and I was doing nothing about it. So when I brought it down, I said, oh, why don't we do something about it? So, okay, fine.
And then it presented that to her, and then she was like, why don't y'all call it Stuff?
Yeah, because we was like, there's not a podcast out there that's curated for us. You know what I mean? Like, that we know our friends could relate to and stuff like that. So it was like, yeah, let's do it. So he presented it to her like, this is what we think about. She was like, Stuck in the Middle.
I love it.
Yeah.
I hope y'all, if this is God's plan, that y'all stick with it.
Right.
Really take control. And keep pushing. I'm here for y'all.
Yeah. Definitely. We appreciate you coming.
And hold up, one more thing. I think we should do something in DC for our DC people. For all the followers.
Listen.
Let him finish.
Hey man, you letting cats out the bag, man.
All right, no. But you have to, you know.
No. Listen. And no, I would say this because I don't, I would take the honor because we are planning something monumental, the 27th of May.
27th. Oh, we work somewhere around there. Yeah.
Somewhere around there. And even after the 27th, there's gonna be plenty more. But this is the inception of like something monumental where, he's flying back to ATL tonight, but he'll be back in 2 weeks. God willing. And so just keep your eyes and ears peeled. And like he just said, stuff is moving.
Definitely. Right. And also, going back to last week's episode, mental health. We're not shying away from that topic. We're definitely not killing that topic.
That's a real topic.
Yeah, that's a real topic, and it's just gonna keep moving forward. So sometime this summer, we're definitely planning
July. We have a date for July.
Oh, we have a date for July.
Yeah, that we're gonna have a forum of mental health. So on the 27th ish, we're gonna have Tmah, and I think I can say this with ease. Errol Barnett from CBS White House. We're gonna have a forum. So for all of y'all who's had questions for Tmah and just all things Africa, man. Like I hope we hope you guys can come out.
All things Africa.
We're just gonna have a dope forum. It's gonna be at IO Space in Silver Spring. It's a dope environment.
Keep y'all posted.
We are going to keep y'all posted, and Tmah, man, appreciate you coming back for that.
Thank y'all for having me.
You in ATL and you coming back for that. So
thank y'all for having me. Y'all keep pushing.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right. Stuck in the middle. Shit. Hey, make sure y'all follow me, Tmah_Konvict, and Jump Africa as well, at Jump Africa on Instagram and jumpafrica.org. Hit me with any questions. I'm always willing to talk to any and everybody. And actually, if you can't get me, who should they contact?
Me. You can contact me.
Yeah,
There
contact
you go.
Reflex.
Yeah.
Man.
Contact
Any
any
of
one of
us.
these guys.
Any of us.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm not gonna give out your personal number though.
Can't do that.
I picked this man up to the airport, man. His phone is just going zip, zip, zip. Yeah, all right, man. Yo, appreciate you coming on the pod,
Thank
bro.
you,
And
thank
you know
you.
what I'm saying? It's gonna be.
Thank you.
It's gonna
No,
be. Definitely gonna be another session.
Definitely.
So many questions, and we look forward to you coming back, and we're having that forum with Errol Barnett from CBS.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You got news?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna save the news for the next.
Yeah, okay.
So, but I would say though on that mental health though, that one thing is the 82 Chibok girls who were released, that Nigeria is doing something positive in rehabilitating them before they get back to their parents. We were just talking about it last week as far as rehabilitation, being under that kind of environment. So that's one news, is that the Minister of Children's Health and Education is taking that upon her to rehabilitate those kids before they rejoin their parents.
And shout out to her, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir Hans, you got anything to add?
No, man. I was just great to have Tmah come grace us with his presence. You know what I mean?
And wisdom.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
We greatly appreciate it.
Definitely.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, SITM Podcast on all social media platforms, and check out our website www.sitmpodcast.com.
Yep.
We out.
Yep.